दुःखातिगो भवेत् तमहं सर्वदा वन्दे श्रीमद्वल्लभनन्दनम् अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमामि हृदये शेषे लीलाक्षिराभिषायिनम् लक्ष्मीसहस्रलीलाभिः सेव्यमानम् कलानिधिम् चतुर्भिश्च त्रिभिस्तथा षड्भिर्विराजते योऽसौ पञ्चधा हृदये मम पञ्चधा हृदये मम पञ्चधा हृदये मम।
चरण स्पर्श ठाकुर जी, महाप्रभु जी and Yamunama. Danvat pranam to my Guruji and everyone's beloved JJ Shri, Dr. H. Dwarkeshlaji Mahoday Shri. Jai Shri Krishna to all our Vaishnavas. With the divine blessings of my Thakurji and Guruji, I, Arman Trishna Morjaria, from Nairobi, Kenya hereby bring to you content related to Pushtimarg, our Thakurji and teachings of JJ in English. I will be posting content as frequently as possible in the forms of videos and shorts. Please ensure to subscribe to the channel, comment and hit the bell icon to receive the latest updates. Kindly also share the content with your family and friends so as to spread the wings of Pushtimarg globally. Let's commence today's video. In this episode we shall learn the history of Shri Vallabhacharya Ji, also known as Shri Mahaprabhu Ji. Let's commence today's episode. Shri Vallabhacharya Ji was born in the noble family of great Vedic scholars like Shri Yagya Narayan Bhatt, Shri Gangadhar Bhatt, Shri Ganpati Bhatt and Shri Vallabh Vahar Bhatt. Shri Yagya Narayan Bhatt was highly well versed in all of the Vedas and is acknowledged as the incarnation of the Vedas. When he performed 31 Soma Yagyas and was deeply thinking of Shri Krishna, at that very moment Shri Krishna himself appeared. He stated that he would be born into Shri Yagya Narayan's family after 100 Soma Yagyas had been performed for the salvation of divine souls. He then vanished. Shri Yagya Narayan Bhatt's son, Shri Gangadhar, performed 27 Soma Yagyas. Shri Gangadhar's son Shri Ganpati performed 32 Soma Yagyas. Shri Ganpati's son Shri Vallabh Vahar performed 5 Soma Yagyas. Shri Vallabh Vahar Bhatt's son Shri Lakshman Bhatt performed the remaining 5 Soma Yagyas in addition to other celebrations and pilgrimages to please Shri Krishna. However, one day Shri Lakshman Bhatt was highly concerned about whether the prediction made by Shri Krishna would fructify. As he thought an impediment would arise in the fulfillment of the prediction, he set out on his pilgrimage and reached Varanasi, where he gifted many persons serving Shri Krishna. Then one day, news came that Varanasi was on strife. The ruler Behlol Lodi had marched from Indraprasth to Kashi with his large army. Consequently, there was panic amongst the Varanasi residents, and they fled to neighboring villages and towns. Taking this to be the will of Sri Krishna, Sri Lakshman Bhatt started to make his way back to his native place. On the way back, his wife Sri Illa Magruji experienced premature labor pains and gave birth to a stillborn baby in Champaran. This was the very auspicious moment of Sri Vallabhacharyaji's appearance. Taking the baby to be lifeless, they wrapped it with a cloth and covered it with sacred leaves under a shami tree. They proceeded to Chaurpur village. However, that night Sri Krishna then appeared before Sri Lakshman Bhatt in his dream and informed him, "I have incarnated myself, go back immediately to the place where you left the child." Sri Lakshman Bhatt ji then set out for Kashi immediately along with his wife. When they reached Champaran, all they could see was a divine fire burning all around the shami tree. At the mother's request, the divine fire made way for her entry, and she lovingly embraced her divine child out of extreme delight. So in 1478 AD, on the 11th day of the dark half of Chaitra month, in Champaran, the great master was born. Sri Vallabhacharyaji appeared on the Ekadashi of the dark half of Vaishakh in Vikram era 1535. On this wonderful day, at the exact time of Sri Vallabhacharyaji's birth, Srinathji's face appeared from Sri Girirajji mountain. Thus, the upliftment of the divine souls was now, and still is, imminent. It is because of these extraordinary circumstances that the episode of his birth is very famous in Pushtimarg. He was the second child of Sri Lakshman Bhatt and Illam Guruji. Sri Vallabhacharyaji received his education in Varanasi. He proved his divine talent by completing the study of all four Vedas, 6 Shastras, Vedant, Puranas and all other prominent scriptures in his childhood. In Vikram era 1544, his father, Sri Lakshman Bhatt, left this world for the heavenly abode. After that he took his mother to her paternal home, and when only 11 years old, he started his tour of India to propagate his practice of Shuddhadvaita Brahmavad, which means pure non-dualism, which challenged the popular Mayavada practice. At such a young age, he was known as Bala Saraswati due to his sheer genius of both correcting false theories and revealing the truth of Bhagavad Dharma. He preached his principles in various parts of the country and circumambulated India 3 times barefooted for 15 years to sanctify the land which he trod and for the well-being of divine souls. He only wore a dhoti, which is a cloth covering the lower part of his body, and uparna, a cloth covering the upper part of his body. During his tour of the whole of India, he rested at 84 places where he reverentially recited Srimad Bhagavat. These places are extremely important for anyone in the path of grace. They are known as the 84 Baithakjis of Sri Vallabhacharyaji. These Baithakjis are situated at various spots throughout the length and breadth of India, from Badrikashram to Rameshwaram and from Dwarka to Jagannath Puri. Sri Vallabhacharyaji revealed his matchless insights amongst the world's most established scholars by expounding Shuddhadvaita Brahmavad in the midst of various theoretical philosophies. He showed the way of attaining Sri Krishna according to the Pushti Marg. The most highly venerable Sri Vallabhacharyaji is the Vaishnav Acharya, a great Vaishnav teacher of the Pushti Marg. He is the last of the 4 Vaishnav Acharyas. Sri Vallabhacharyaji strictly adhered to 3 rules. They were: undertake pilgrimages barefooted. He walked approximately 12,000 kilometers barefooted when he graced India by walking around it 3 times. Never enter a village or city, but always stay on its outskirts. Never wear stitched clothes. The great master wrote many works, to name a few. Gayatri Bhashya, Purva Mimamsa Karika, Purva Mimamsa Bhashya, Saprakasha Tattvartha Deep Nibandha, and very many others. Sri Vallabhacharyaji instructed individuals to serve Sri Krishna by setting an example himself. He inspired them to seek refuge in Sri Krishna, thereby making their lives meaningful. During this tour, he graced the court of King Krishnadevara of Vijayanagar in South India. A fierce debate was taking place at that time between contemporary Vedic scholars in connection with whether the world was real or imaginary and whether it was created by the Lord. Vijayanagar was like a small empire with its sovereignty over many states, and its rulers were amongst the best in understanding and implementing 17 Hindu religion. The debate became heated for several days, and still there was no solution. At such an important time, Sri Vallabhacharyaji entered the court and, to the amazement of everyone present, gave outstanding replies to all of the unsolved queries with scriptural evidence. All the scholars present were speechless and gave their full approval to his practice of Shuddhadvait Brahmavad. Thus, he re-established the truth of the Shuddhadvait Brahmavad, which was unanimously approved by all the contemporary scholars. Consequently, they respectfully gave him the title of Jagadguru, which means universal teacher. He was then honored by being bathed with holy waters from all over the country, filled in gold vessels. This ritual is known as Kankabhishek. He was presented with copious amounts of gold, but he only accepted 7 gold mohus which were used for preparing the ornaments of Srinathji. The rest he distributed to poor Brahmins and learned people. In Sri Vallabhacharyaji's second tour of India, when he reached Pandharpur, Sri Krishna commanded him to marry, and Sri Krishna himself desired to be born as his son. As a result, Sri Vallabhacharyaji married Sri Mahalakshmiji in Varanasi. He had 2 illustrious sons. His sons and their descendants are known as Goswami Maharajas. The elder being Sri Gopinath, who is a manifestation of Balaramji, and the younger being Sri Gusainji, also known as Sri Vithalnathji, the manifestation of Sri Krishna. Sri Gopinath ji had a son called Sri Purushottam ji, but after this Sri Purushottam ji had no children. Sri Gusainji had 7 illustrious sons, whose descendants have been preaching and professing the Pushti Marg on this earth to this day. On Sri Vallabhacharyaji's third perambulation of India when he was in Jharkhand, Srinathji, in other words, Sri Krishna himself appeared and instructed him to establish his worship. Srinathji also stated that he would meet him on top of Sri Girirajji, which is the most holy mountain and a form of Sri Krishna himself. Sri Vallabhacharyaji then went to Sri Girirajji and met Srinathji and established his seva, meaning divine service, consecrated him in a temple and consigned his seva to Sri Ram Das Chauhan. Later on, Srinathji was enshrined in a temple constructed by Purnamal Kshatri on top of Sri Girirajji. From then on, Sri Vallabhacharyaji proceeded to other parts of the country, won every debate, and thus stood qualified as the universal teacher. He also undertook pilgrimages along with his venerable mother and his adorable deity, Sri Madan Mohan Ji Prabhu, which is another form of Sri Krishna. In 1554 Vikram era he settled at Adel, and Sri Madan Mohan Ji began to be served widely and well by all. In 1530 AD, Sri Krishna, because of his insufferable separation from Sri Vallabhacharyaji, commanded the great master 3 times to come back to him. Sri Vallabhacharyaji, in compliance with Sri Krishna's previous command of writing the commentary on Srimad Bhagavat and explaining the vital secret of his divine sports, did not comply Shri Krishna's previous two commands given to him in Ganga Sagar Sangam at Ganga Sagar Confluence and Madhuvan, Mathura respectively with regard to Deha Tyag, which means giving up one's body, and Desha Tyag, which means giving up one's place of residing, but complied with his third command. He then came back to Varanasi and lived in a Parnakuti, house of leaves, on Hanuman Ghat of the river Ganga for about a week. Like the rest of his divine life, he spent his last days in contemplation of Sri Krishna and suffered divine pangs of separation from him. His family members and close devotees went there for his last darshan and teachings. As he took a vow of silence, he wrote 3.5 lines of divine teachings on the sands, which is known as Shiksha Shloki. He revealed that if you ever turn away from Sri Krishna, your body, mind and everything will always be destroyed. He is not worldly and does not accept the seva of worldly people. Our bhav, which means devotional affection for him, is our all and everything, whether in this world or in any other. He must always be worshipped with every devotional feeling. Then Sri Krishna himself manifested before him and gave the last teaching, if you believe in me, then you are spiritually accomplished and there is nothing else to be concerned with. Then you are established in the form of salvation. The great master then entered into the water of Ganga on the day of Rath Yatra, a festival that is celebrated on the second or third day of the bright side of the lunar month of Ashad. Then a magnificent and beautiful divine flame ascended from the water to Sri Krishna's divine abode. It illuminated the sky for 3 hours, then finally entered Golok Dham. This divine experience is known as Asuravyamo Leela. Sri Vallabhacharya Ji, the founder of Shuddha Pushti Bhakti Marg, has led by example and followed his own universal principles. He bestows on all divine souls the means of returning back to Sri Krishna. With his unlimited grace, one is able to attain Sri Krishna's refuge and experience divinal leisure even in this Kalikal, meaning dark age, irrespective of age, gender, caste or color. He allows one to transcend this world and enter Golok Dham, the residence of Sri Krishna himself. He appeared to uplift all and allows the individual to attain Sri Krishna himself. The path of grace is the path of Sri Krishna's grace. The great master Sri Vallabhacharya Ji expounded Sri Krishna's refuge for the eternal welfare of individuals in this Kalikal. The principles of Sri Vallabhacharya Ji are universal and eternal. If the individual soul pursues these principles, it can attain divine pleasure, thus liberating oneself from the worldly stresses and strains. Hence, it is imperative that the followers of the path of grace study and recite his works, especially the Shodhash Granths, with full comprehension, concentration and conviction. Sri Aniruddhacharya has explained the essence enunciated by the divine fire Sri Vallabhacharya Ji in half of a shlok: the Lord is true, the world is true, and the individual soul is a particle of the Lord but not the Lord himself. Sri Vallabhacharya Ji during this Kalikal, by preaching a separate Sharan Marg, meaning path of refuge for the welfare of individuals, provided them his refuge. It is extremely important to be aware of Sri Vallabhacharya Ji's true form. This can only be realized by his grace. Nonetheless, understanding paths like Sri Sarvottam Stotra and Saundaryam will definitely help. This marks the end of today's session. However, the video is still not over as we all have to sing the Ashrayapad. Please sing along. Till we meet again in the next video, signing off with Jai Shri Krishna.
दृढैन चरणान केरो भरोसो दृढैन चरणान केरो श्रीवल्लभ नख चंद छटा बिन सब जग माज अंधेरो भरोसो दृढैन चरणान केरो साधन और नहीं आकली में जासो होय निवेरो सूर कहाँ कहे द्विविधयादरो बिना मूल को चेरो भरोसो दृढैन चरणान केरो दृढैन चरणान केरो भरोसो दृढैन चरणान दृढैन चरणान दृढैन चरणान केरो